virtual edu networking community. We are thrilled today to bring you an incredible individual that is so purposeful and passionate about time. And he's going to be speaking he's an expert speaker, and he's going to be speaking this Thursday at the Grand Connection. And that will be from 11 a.m. Pacific to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Eastern is 2 to 4. And in the UK, it's 7 to 9 p.m. What he's going to be sharing with us is what we really need to know right now. January is for new beginnings, it's new renewal, and for us at the Grand Connection, it feels like a reignition of new possibilities and opportunities in how to be more productive and effective. His talk is going to be on 6 tactics, how to craft your time. So let me introduce you to him. His name is Mike Vardy, and he is known as the productivitist. And he is passionate about productivity. He's an expert and the creator of the framework and philosophy known as time crafting. With over 15 years experience in the field, he is known as his unique approach to productivity that blends mindfulness, intentionality with practical tools and strategies. This is the 3rd year in a row in January that we have been honored to have Mike speak to our community. Welcome, Mike. Tell us what you're going to focus on.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to be back for my 3rd year in a row. 3rd time's the charm, right? Isn't that the way it works? So I'm going to be talking about, because we're in the month of January, it is a perfect opportunity, not so much to move forward with a bunch of New Year's resolutions, but to resolve to pay more attention, to be more intentional, to craft your time better than you've done in the past. And you alluded to this, Carolyn. I've had a sense this year, probably more than any in recent memory, where January has become more of a month of renewal, resetting, pushing things in the direction that you want them to go in, as opposed to trying to pull things out of the days. And these 6 tactics that I'm going to share with you are simple, they're flexible, they're durable, and best of all, they're sustainable, which you can't say for New Year's resolutions that we've been making year over year over year. So some of the things I'm going to talk about is the importance of getting things out of your head, right? Because you mentioned a reignition, a recalibration, almost like a reboot. I mentioned this before we went live, this idea of, the world is a computer and we just was turned off and we turned it back on. And a computer, when it's freshly booted, it's got a lot of room to wiggle. It's got a lot of processing power. But then we start opening apps and opening this and doing that, and all of a sudden it starts to bog it down. Well, the same thing is, our minds kind of operate the same way. If there's so many things in our head, it ends up being more of a warehouse than the factory that it can be. So that's one of the tactics I'm going to share. I'm going to talk about the importance of leveraging technology, the concept of attention paths and how you can use them to start crafting your time the way that you need and want to craft your time. I'm going to talk about the use of the calendar and maybe how to balance the idea of the calendar and the to-do list. If you're more of a calendar-driven person, then maybe how do you incorporate the to-do list into your life, and vice versa. If you're more of a to-do list person, how do you make use of the calendar? Things like that. And like I said, these tactics, they're not going to take a lot of time for you to adopt. By no stretch of the imagination do you need to adopt all 6, but they're going to be useful for you as 2023 begins to carry you forward in the days, the weeks, the months, the seasons ahead as we make our way through not just 2023, but beyond.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. And Mike has inspired both Susan and I greatly over the last 2 years, and we have become so much more efficient with our virtual assistants, as well as individually in the way that we navigate and manage our time. And I want to let everybody know that this will also be a networking event. So you will meet fellow businesses from around the world in small, safe breakout rooms that we call the mastermind breakout rooms after Mike's talk. And you'll have an opportunity to share, connect, create opportunities together, and purposefully collaborate. Now, Susan, do you want to add anything else to this restream?
Well, we just love Mike coming. Every year we get a little bit more productive, Mike. I just love the way, it's I've been working on my life, and I always have sort of thought that, the faster I can get at doing things, the more efficient I can be, the more I can cram in the day, the more productive I'll be. But I've learned a lot. It's been a change in my mindset by hearing Mike the last 2 years. And I know this year is going to be another big aha for us, is to use the time intentionally. And, Mike, this just excites me. Do you want to just add a little bit more about intentional time management just to share? Because I know that this sparks a lot of us. We're intentional. We're living trying to be mindful in everything we do. But managing our time is just such a lovely way to start, managing our lives, right?
Well, here's what I'm going to say that might blow your mind is we can't manage time. Time moves on whether we want it to or not. So it's not something that you actually can manage, but what you can do is improve your relationship with it, right? So if you improve your relationship with time, and I remember a friend of mine who's an author, I got an email today from his email list, and he says, how to take control of your time. And I almost emailed him back going, that's not possible. You can command it to a degree. And I talk about that a little bit in some of the other stuff that I do. And I'll probably bring this up during the conversation we're having on Thursday as well. But time is something that I don't believe you should be striving to manage. When you let go of that and you start crafting it instead, because we're going to have time as long as we have time, and time is going to have us during that same kind of scenario. So if you can improve your relationship with time, and that's where intentionality comes in, right? And attention, right? The idea of productiveness is the kind of linking or marriage or kind of partnership between intention and attention. That's really what productivity is all about. When you have those two things linking and talking to each other, that's when you can actually get away from this idea of just doing productive and filling everything up to being actually productive and have this state of productiveness where you're not filling your days, but your days are more fulfilling. So yeah, that's a definite bent. And by the way, that doesn't mean you're only going to focus on quality, but I'd like to see a little bit more of a balance between quantity and quality. And it sounds like, Susan, that's happened for you a bit. And that's because you've improved your relationship with time, as opposed to trying to, I mean, I know time management's the buzzword that we hear all the time, and it's just something we can grab onto. But when you think about it, time was here before us, time will be here after us. So how do we improve our relationship with time while we are here with it?
I love it. Oh my
I love that. Carolyn, I'm going to let you say something at the end. I just want to add in to everybody here. This is an Edu networking event. We're going to have the opportunity to hear Mike's awesome talk, then ask him questions. So, you get to meet Mike, and he's going to be going in the breakout rooms too. So some of you are going to get to meet him one-on-one in the rooms. And then we're going to, have an opportunity to connect, create, and collaborate, because that's what we're about at the Grand Connection, is finding those grand connections, leveling up our skills together, and learning from other members in our community, which, Mike, you're a member of our community too. So I'm going to pass this back to Carolyn. You can remind people of the times. Yeah. And, we'd love to see you here. You can come to 2 events as a guest. So everybody, if you haven't been to a Grand Connection yet, this is the time to come.
Absolutely. This is the time. And honestly, if you have a vision of 2023 of creating more and better fulfilling results, as Mike puts it, just come to the event. Our community is extraordinary businesses from around the world, and they really are, heart-based businesses that really care. They really have a big dream to grow and collaborate with other businesses. So we welcome you to the Grand Connection. All the information will be down below. So we will see you on Thursday. And Mike, thank you once again for sharing your purpose, your passion, your wisdom with our community. We're so excited what we're going to learn from you this year. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And that is 2 p.m. or is it 3 p.m.? 3 to 5 Eastern. There it is. 2 to 4 Eastern, pardon me, and 7 to 9 in the UK. So we'll see you at the event. Thanks so much. Take care.